Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thanks so much for watching today. I thought it might be fun to talk about some lipsticks for fall. These are the shades that I'm going to really try and focus on reaching for. They're kind of shades that I only tend to reach for during this time of year, and I'm like, that has to stop because these are beauteous shades. Some of them are like regulars, and some of the other ones, they're just kind of like, ooh, I forgot I had that. That's so good. When you have a collection as large as mine, it's important to rotate through it. So here are the 10 lipsticks I'm super excited about, plus a bonus one for fall. I'm going to start with one of the sheerest formulations. This is the YSL Candy Glow Butter Balm. This is their new pH adjusting. I know. I always talk about how I don't like a pH adjusting formula. I find that the shade that I have, I think this is 6B. It's the one that is fairly dark. It looks kind of brown. I don't find that it leaves a pH adjusting shade on my lips. Normally, if a product is pH adjusting, it turns 1987 fuchsia pink on my lips. And I don't like that. I don't find that this one does. When I was in Sephora, I did swatch all of them on the back of my hand, and although they didn't any of them turn like that bright fuchsia pink, many of them did have a staining effect and a slight deepening of the pink shade in it, but I don't find that to be true with this one. But I found this one this summer, and then I just couldn't stop reaching for it. If you love a tinted, glossy, sheer lipstick, I think you would really like this. This really is more like a balm, but I love this shade. This shade is beautiful. It does have that YSL mango-y sweet smell to it. I don't mind that. It's the one that comes in the pale pink packaging because the Love Shine comes in silver. So here's the silver, here is the metallic pink packaging. It's very subtle difference, but if you're looking at them in store, there's I think 6, maybe 7 of these, and I really like this formula. It's really pretty, super comfortable. I do reapply with Wild Abandon because it's a balm that doesn't last that long, but I really like how it feels. I really like the sheer tint that it gives to my lips, and I like the way that it nourishes and hydrates my lips. Here's one that I love absolutely. This is the Velvet Matte from Dior in the shade 100. Oh my goodness. This is probably one of my most loved and perfect nudes for my skin tone. If you notice, it's not that much darker than my natural lip color. Here's my lip without anything on it. And that's what I think I like the most about this. It looks like me, but just a little bit more. This matte is not drying on my lips. I will be 50 years old in January, so 50 is coming. My lips are getting a little bit more persnickety as time goes on, and I find that this formula always feels creamy, always is non-drying on my lips, and I can reapply throughout the day, and I have a layer of nourishment, so when I take the makeup off at the end of the day, if I've kept this on all day, my lips are not flaky, dry, unhappy, unless it's the dead of winter, and then almost nothing can save them in the dead of winter. They're likely to be that way just because temperatures dip really cold where I live. But I love this formula. This is the old packaging for the Dior. Here's the new packaging for the Dior. This one is magnetic. They're both refillable. You can take the refill from one into the old component and guess who fits? I feel like Dior should have a sit down with Guerlain and be like, you know, if you really want to keep your clients happy, but you're not going to see this packaging anymore. This is one that I bought, I think last year in the fall, and they've recently updated their packaging and their formula. You know what's interesting though? I do have new Velvet Mattes from Dior. I don't find a difference between the satin formula, the old one and the new one, or in the Velvet Mattes. The scent is still the same. This does have a slightly floral fragrance. It doesn't linger, it does dissipate, but if you don't like scented lip products, keep that in mind. This one and the YSL do have a scent, but this is one of my favorite shades. Super easy to use, goes with absolutely everything, and makes for a really easy, beautiful matte fall lip. Earlier this year, when I was working on my luxury lipstick playlist, I will link that for you in the description box down below. I purchased a whole bunch of lipsticks and then I ranked them from worst to first. I happened to pick up this lipstick from Sicily. This is Le Fito Rouge, and this is their satin lipstick in the shade number 15, Beige Manhattan. One of the things that I like so much is how many angles you find on this bullet. It looks like a gem at the top when it's fresh and brand new, but what's great about it is you have lots of corners to help line your lips, and I don't find that this is a terribly slippy or product that travels. It stays where I put it, so I don't always have to use this one with a lip liner. But that edge makes applying it perfectly super easy. I love that this is a slightly warmer nude than the one I had before. You know what? I meant to do swatches. Let's do that. All right, I forgot to do swatches. This is the Candy Glow from YSL. Here's the Dior 100 shade. This is the shade number 15 in Beige Manhattan. This one is just a smidge warmer than this. This tends to be a little bit cooler, have a little bit more pink to it. This has I would say it's more neutral. It's not really a peachy lean, but it is a beautiful lipstick that works really well with warm cheeks, warm eyes. If you tend to like something that is not too warm but has some warmth to it, I think you would really like this shade in Beige Manhattan. The one thing I will tell you though, creamy, beautiful, feels amazing on the lips, wears really well, easy to reapply over itself. Everything you'd expect from a luxury lipstick. I like the magnetic closure. I like the zebra stripe on there and even the red on the top. The one thing is, I don't feel like the cap is as heavy or luxe. There is weight in the package itself, but mainly it's in the component part right here at the base. Overall, a very, very lovely lipstick and one of my favorite nudes in my collection. Here's a new one to my collection. This is the Spike Valentino Buttery Mattes. This one is in the shade number 134R. It is a slimline lipstick. I like that, but it is beautiful and matte. Here's the Spike Valentino shade. It has a little bit more rose to it and is a little bit deeper. If you're curious, this formula compared to their other velvet matte formula, I feel like this has a little bit more of a, it has, and heavy seems like a bad description because it seems like I'm saying the lipstick is heavy. It's not heavy, but it's a thicker formula. Their other matte formula that comes in the red packaging seems more lightweight and almost undiscernible. So this one's a little bit lighter. This one's a little bit more like I can feel that I'm wearing lipstick, but it's not uncomfortable. It's beautiful. It wears really well. I don't find that this like completely sets down, but it doesn't transfer after a certain point. Like I can be drinking from a coffee mug and at the very beginning I'll get a little bit of transfer, but after a point anything that was going to transfer off is transferred off and I still have the color where I want it. It's beautiful, very expensive in the high 40s, but she's lovely. And I will tell you, this is heavy, this is weighty. I love all of the rock stud that you have on the packaging, and guess what? Refillable. That's what I was hoping to see in this. This is refillable, but this plastic packaging is not giving luxe vibes. This is okay. This is outstanding. I like the formula of both. I think they're really equally beautiful matte formulas, but the packaging for this one's gonna win every single time. Here's one from Lisa Eldridge that I absolutely adore. This is one of the luxuriously lucent lipsticks, and this is the shade Meet Me in Berlin. I always think of this as the brown lipstick that this 90s girl needed in college. Here's Meet Me in Berlin. It's not as shiny as the one from YSL, but it does have a little bit more opacity to it. And on the lips, even though they're very similar, they fit in a different place. If I want something that's easy and effortless, I will reach for the YSL. If I'm going for something that has just a little bit more to it and is gonna stay a little bit longer, I'm gonna reach for the one from Lisa Eldridge. Lisa makes one of my absolute favorite kind of creamy lipsticks. It feels so good. It's extremely nourishing. I find that these last 2.5 to 3 hours on my lips. If you have a deeper color, I feel like it lasts a little bit longer, but something that's a little bit nude or a little bit sheer, closer to that 2.5 to 3 hour mark. Some of the other ones like the reds, I can get maybe 3.5 hours out of. But this is one of my favorite formulas. I love it so much. If you are averse to any sort of fragrance, Lisa Eldridge makes beautiful lipsticks without fragrance. So if you're looking for a beautiful luxe lipstick that doesn't smell like anything, pick up one of these. I'm a huge fan of Merit lipsticks. I feel like they make, for $26, a really luxurious product, has weight, has heft. I love the packaging. But on top of that, the lipstick itself is beautiful. And this year they came out with a new line of matte lipsticks. Originally they launched with cream lipsticks. There's 8 new shades in the matte. And this one here is called Equestrian. Doesn't this have a beautiful vampy look to it? All right, here's Equestrian. It's definitely the darkest one out of the bunch so far. This is one of those lipsticks that I know when I put it on, I like it after it's had a minute to kind of sit. Because I am so fair and this kind of washes me out a little bit, I prefer this lipstick when it's blotted. Let me blot it down really quick for you. I feel like this is the way that I like to wear it. So what I'll normally do is apply to one, either the upper or the lower lip, smush my lips together, use my finger to kind of share things around. I do love it straight from the bullet, you know, and that really dark look, but I find that on those days when I'm wearing it like this, I need just a little bit more blush. So the next lipstick is kind of not really a lipstick, but sometimes it feels like a lipstick, but it's really called a balm. This is the Bisou Balm from Violette France. And I have this new shade called, what is it? Bonbon Coquelicot. And it's a lovely matte lip balm. And you can put it on really lightly if you are like not a lipstick sort of person. And that's when you get just the barest little kind of a whisper of color. But when I take the time to build this up, I love the way this looks on my lips. And it really screams that kind of warm lean for fall while being a bright lipstick. Ta-da! I know, it's beautiful. I really like this. I feel like this formula, I was concerned that it was going to be too drying because it doesn't feel really creamy or nourishing on the lips. I do find that when I'm wearing this, I tend to apply more frequently, very much in line with what I'm doing with this one here. It's such a pretty, pretty product. And this is one of those that makes me want to try more of the Bisou balms from the line. Let's not forget our swatch. That's what it looks like when it's sheer, and if you're going to build it up, that's what it looks like when it's built up. A very, very lovely lipstick. Here's a velvet matte from Lisa Eldridge that I almost exclusively wear in the fall, and I need to get over that because it's beautiful all year round. This one's called Velvet Cinnabar. Here's Velvet Cinnabar. It is a beautiful, deep, rusty, not really brown, not really terracotta. It is a unique shade that works so well. I love this shade for fall. It really reminds me of like the stags and the foxes on my blouse. But this is one of those shades that I tend to reach for only during the fall season because it really serves fall vibes. But that's when I have to remind myself that you can build a look around a lipstick all year round. This doesn't have to necessarily only be a fall lipstick, so I need to get that out of my mind. But it's one that I always think about and always reach for in the fall. This is one of those matte formulas that is impeccable. It's creamy. It wears really well. It never dries my lips out. I find it doesn't feather and trail where I don't want it. This is literally my favorite matte lipstick out of all the lipsticks in my collection, and I probably have more than 300 lip products. This formula is certainly my favorite. This next lipstick is from Chanel. This is one of their really glossy, very nourishing formulas. This is the Rouge Allure Extract formula. I like that if you push it here, pops out for you. She's refillable. This is the shade number 818 Rose Independent. I was looking for it on the bottom here and it didn't have the name, and I was like, no, thank you. I want to know what it's called. But it's super creamy, it's super comfortable, and very pigmented. This is the lipstick that lasted through Thanksgiving dinner last year. Through appetizers, through the meal, through dessert, like it powered through. Was it as shiny and bright as this? No, it was a little bit more muted, but I didn't have a patch in the middle. I didn't have like a ton of it wearing off. I'm a fairly tidy eater, so keep that in mind. I didn't feel like I lost a lot of it to wiping my face with my napkin or it getting stuck on my fork or things like that. But this lipstick is super nourishing, super comfortable, feels amazing on the lips. I just wish it wasn't so expensive. The good part is though, she's refillable. The next lipstick I have for you is from Nars. This is their new Explicit lipstick, and this is the shade Excess. I forgot to swatch the Chanel for you, but here's Chanel Rose Independent, and this one is Excess from Nars. What I like about this packaging is that finally, Nars packaging is magnetic. Guess who also is refillable? I feel like a lot of brands are doing that right now, and I am so grateful for that, because like when the packaging is built in a sturdy, beautiful way, why not make it refillable, and then we have less stuff that we're throwing away every single time. I want it to be built well, and I want it to definitely be something that's worthy of living in my handbag for a long time, and I really feel like this packaging does that. It's not that soft matte that we normally would get on a Nars lipstick. The one thing I'll tell you is I find that these new Explicit lipsticks, I have 2 of them, tend to be really thin. It's almost as if you can't tell you're wearing them. They are kind of creamy, but they're not so creamy that they're like terribly hydrating. Now, they don't dry my lips out, but they don't have the kind of creamy feel that I would expect a cream or a satin lipstick to have. The other thing that I notice is that they don't last terribly long, but I don't mind reapplying. You know, I'm not looking for 10 hours out of a single application. No. I don't think that any of my lipsticks do that, but this one I think doesn't last as long as I would expect it to. This color does. I have a shade that's a little bit lighter, and that one lasts for about 3 hours before it's like, you know, gone in certain places, like in the middle if I've been drinking from a coffee cup. Now this one does transfer. But it's a traditional bullet lipstick. I'm not going to hold that against it, but I really love this shade. This shade just screams fall to me. This one in Excess is beautiful. So those are the 10. I did have to throw a bonus one in here because it's not fall for me unless I'm wearing a red. And this is one of my absolute favorites. This is the YSL Rouge Pure Couture, the Bold. Now, this shade is shade number 1. It's their classic YSL red. I love how creamy, how beautiful, and how comfortable this lipstick is. I have so many beautiful reds in my collection, but this is one of the ones that I instantly reach for when I want something that's creamy, has a little bit of shine, and I know is going to hang on and be a little bit tenacious, especially for a creamy satin sort of lipstick. This stays on my lips a good 4 hours. Of course, it is a bold color, so it's just going to hang around really well. I do get transfer off onto forks, any sort of utensils or cups or glasses, mugs, things like that. But this lipstick is, first of all, I would expect a shade like this to kind of go place. No. She stays put. This formula is really beautiful. It's staying where you put it. I am currently not wearing it with a lip liner, and I'm going to continue to wear it throughout the rest of today. But that's when I tell you that this is great without needing a lip liner on my almost 50-year-old lips. All right. Other thing that I love about this is how nourishing, how comfortable. I have gone through and swatched now 11 lipsticks. My lips were feeling a little dry from every single time I had to, you know, wipe off the color and put on a new one. The truth is, this one makes my lips feel like I just put on a balm. It feels so comfortable. I have this formula in 3 shades. I have kind of like a toasty warm shade. I almost pulled that one. I have kind of like a nudie pink shade, and then this one in red, but this is the one that really has my heart. I love this. I feel like I didn't wear as much red lipstick during the summer as I normally do, so it's certainly time for me to start finding all my favorite reds. And this one is my bonus lipstick for you today that is that, one of my most loved reds. Boy, I'm getting to the point where I'm forgetting. So here is this YSL in the shade 01. Here are all the lipsticks. These guys are definitely more the nudes. And then we start getting into some really toasty colors like this one. And then some brighter shades like this pink, this slightly orangey shade, and this beautiful, beautiful red. I'm going to list every single one of these lipsticks in the description box down below. Keep in mind, those links are affiliate links. You can use them or not. It's up to you. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you do, it does help to support my channel, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. I would love to know, when it comes to fall makeup, what are you looking for? Are you really going for kind of like those warm, toasty fall sorts of colors, like very much pumpkin patch and, you know, hot chai tea, here we come? Or do you like to wear really bold colors? You still wearing blues and pinks and bright greens? Let me know what your fall aesthetic is. I tend to lean into the more traditional kind of warm or punchy sort of lip colors, but I would love to know what you do. Thank you so much for watching today. Have an incredible day, and I'll see you again soon.